Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the current rank 1 in the world team, but also a team around Goodra here. Goodra is a Pokemon I really want to take a look at anyway this season, and I just never really got around to do it. And so while I was looking around for teams that I wanted to try out, Goodra was definitely one of them that I really wanted to take a look at anyway. And by just an accident there as well, I figured out that the current #1 spot is going to be Victor, who is someone I already showcased several times on this channel with their rank 1 in the world team. This is not the first time. He hit actually rank 1 in the world 5 times in a row, basically, like 5 seasons in a row. And yeah, today we want to take a look at their team. Their team is a bit weird, and if you want to play this one yourself, I would most likely change a bit of the things here. But generally speaking, it is a team that got them up to rank 1 in the world as far as I know. They basically had like some stream with a different channel as well, and they were running, as far as I know, this team here. So yeah, today we're going to take a look at this one. We're going to see here the power of Goodra with Thunder Punch being buffed this season. This is one of the main reasons why I wanted to take a look at the Goodra again as well, because Thunder Punch now actually does more damage than the Awkward Tail, which usually was the same amount of damage, and this small buff can actually help out quite a bit, especially with a matchup against Azumarill. But as you can see here, the opponent decides to forfeit. One thing that is definitely to note here as well is that my Corsola sadly is quite bad. What this means is I have some issues in some matchups because I just don't have the bulk that a normal Corsola has. Here, I don't know if I had to go for the charge move. I think I could have fully farmed them down, but it is what it is. So, what issue does this team have here? I feel like most people who are a little bit more knowledgeable about the current meta most likely already know what the one issue is for this team, and that one is quite clearly Diggersby. Or, yeah, basically only Diggersby to be fair, because of the normal and ground typing. Our lead is weak to ground typing, our Pokemon in the back is weak to normal types because you're a ghost type Pokemon, making this definitely a little bit of an awkward Pokemon to deal with. There are most likely going to be some other Pokemon that you can run otherwise. For example, I don't know, like you run actually something like a Primeape in order to do some super effective damage against them, or like some kind of other water type Pokemon I feel like would make a lot of sense, like Feraligatr would make a lot of sense there as well. But the Corsola Goodra core in the back there is cool, but then again you need something more to beat the Diggersby. I feel like Goodra still can deal with stuff like this, but yeah, the other Pokemon that most likely going to work out a little bit better, even Gastron would be neutral, just generally to deal with those. But anyway, we're going to take a look now at the battles. So you're going to have here, of course, the Say-Stop now of our Goodra, which is going to be very good in the current meta, being most likely the best Dragon-type Pokemon currently that you can run. I see some Dragonites. I want to make a video about Dragonite as well. I already recorded all the battles for it, but haven't really got around to do them. So here we will see the Awkward Tail coming through against the opponent. It is going to allow us to get the shield. Now we're going to be able to go ahead and let the move go through, go for the full farm with our lead, I would say, to just get a little bit of extra energy to maybe get a Brine off against the opponent's Steelix, which we saw already in the beginning, to just do a little bit of damage. But first, we're going to swap out of here to get out the opponent's Superior. And here's the thing as well, sometimes you have to count a little bit in terms of like the moves of the opponent, because I was hoping, because of the extra energy they had from swapping in and the opponent still took a little bit to swap out again, I was really hoping that I would be able to reach the next Nightshade in time, and so I go straight for it, and it turns out to be a CMP tie. And that completely changed the entire matchup, because all of a sudden we don't have a good matchup here where we have a Corsola with a lot of health left. No, we're going to have now a Corsola with basically no health left, and we're going to have in the back here the Toxapex, where I'm at least going to be able to catch the move, which might help me out later on, because maybe I can still go for one Nightshade later on. That would be really helpful. But as we will see here, Brine is coming through. We will see the opponent going for the knockout just barely, because before I get to the Brine would have been really nice here. But maybe you can still go for another charge move here. We need two more fast moves. It's going to sadly not be it here. And so the opponent's going to be able to win this one, but they also cannot walt me there, to be fair. More of a neutral lead here. Dragonite, as said before, is a very solid Dragon-type Pokemon currently. I've seen some teams around it. I have the gameplay towards a Dragonite team, which I want to kind of release. But also, what I would like to ask you down below for the comment section is, what kind of other teams would you like to see? I have like a list here that I always write on the side, basically on teams I kind of want to showcase. I have like 2 or 3 on there currently, but I'm definitely would like to know, what teams would you like to see? What kind of maybe theme teams you kind of want to see? Do you want to see again one of the cheapest teams, one of the fastest teams that you can run, one of the bulkiest teams, the team with the highest attack stat, all this kind of stuff we can do here as well. Maybe you want to see again if AI can figure out the meta a little bit better. I am definitely willing to do all of this kind of stuff here on the channel. I would really like to know what you want to see down below in the comment section. And while you scroll down, you could leave a like as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it is free, would really appreciate it, helps out quite a bit. Anyway, Thunder Punch is going to be able to hit that nice Toxapex here, doing a lot of damage, then getting them kind of low, which we can now use to farm them down to get energy on my other Pokemon here, which is going to be my Corsola, which can take a hit here as well from the opponent. We don't really take any damage from Brian because Brian is kind of bad. And in comes Dugong. And honestly, a lot of times I just misplay it for no reason particular. I should have just went for the other move. I'm literally just throwing the game by going not for the power gem there because I would have been able to reach another power gem now. And I feel like a super effective power gem still would have been better than here, Nightshade. But I don't know, it's a bit silly. And it's also going to allow them to win the battle here. So that is just not necessary to lose this one. But yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, I feel like if you have a good Corsola right now, it's cheat code. I just don't have a good Corsola, so I feel like this Pokemon doesn't really do a lot for me. Like, you really need good IVs, and like, again, you can only get the good IVs from actually trading with someone, and that can be kind of difficult for a lot of people. Like, yeah, I can trade with my girlfriend, which I did as well, and I have now a half solid one, but we already, of course, are best friends in the game, and you really need to have basically no friendship level there. So, what would have been cool is if this Pokemon would have been maybe a Go Battle League encounter during the Go Battle Week, just to get this Pokemon with Go Battle League IVs. But no, we didn't see anything of this because, you know what's great, we can also just lock this Pokemon behind 7km X and let people use their money to buy incubators. I don't know, like it is a bit of a silly one there for like Pokemon like this. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Pokemon that are locked to the core, that it's very, very difficult to get them if they're completely meta relevant, like Corsola, which I think is the #1 spot currently on PvPoke for the Great League. And then you still need to trade them as well in order to get them even with good IVs. Yes, I'm fully aware that the main feature of this game here is trying to go out and trying to do stuff with other people, which is great, which I feel like should have been a bit more adjusted after COVID anyway, because the game just changed quite a bit throughout COVID, and I feel like they never really got back to the hype that it was before, or during COVID, to be fair, mainly because they just couldn't really form their thing that they wanted to do in 2016 to what is afterwards. But yeah, I still feel like it is just very difficult because it just excludes a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are not there going out, not having community to trade those Pokemon, and they're just going to end up then with a Pokemon that's just so much inferior towards others. That's kind of a bit annoying here, but yeah, I don't know, like, how do you see the Corsola situation? It's a bit difficult for me, I feel like, because this Pokemon is just so good, but so difficult to get. And here's the thing, unlike, for example, Zygarde, Corsola is a Pokemon that you can really only get through, basically interaction with other people by going for trades for good IVs. Zygarde you get as a free encounter and then you do roots, but like everybody can do roots. I choose not to do roots because I don't like them, but that's not like me. Like, it's my personal choice, basically. Like, it's not something that the game does itself. But here, for example, the Corsola being locked to trader, like the trader visa being so important basically on this Pokemon is a bit annoying, I feel like. Anyway, I don't really want to complain anymore about this topic, but it's definitely a good Pokemon. If you have Corsola, by the way, with good IVs from a trade, literally the best Pokemon currently, like by a mile. Yes, you have Pokemon, by the way, here, why do I not get the fast move through, by the way? Yes, you have Pokemon basically that are going to be able to completely counter, like the Diggersby. But man, this Pokemon is so good. Like, I had like one scenario recently where I had the Corsola, not my Corsola, but the opponent's Corsola, which definitely was a good one, against my Azumarill. I needed to use 2 shields in order to knock them out. The opponent didn't have any shield left, and I was like in the right health range there. So it is ridiculous on how strong this Pokemon is. If you have, again, good IVs, like if you have like a 15-15-15, you don't really want to build it. Trust me, you don't want to build it. There is not really a benefit from it. But again, go out if you have people in your community, ask them for Galarian Corsola. Most of them won't have them because it's an insanely difficult Pokemon to get, but the difference is ginormous between those forms. I'm looking up that right now as well. There are so many matchups that you're gonna lose because you don't have good IVs. Like, literally so many, like 5+ matchups basically in most shield scenarios, which is ridiculous. So yeah, go out, get some, and definitely try to build the best one that you get. And rank 1 wins 25 in the 0 shield scenario, while the Yeah, 15, 15, 15, only when it's 21, and that's a big difference. A lot of Pokemon that are really, really good. And so, yeah, again, this Pokemon is kind of mandatory currently to have, or you counter it, you decide. Anyway, again, next opponent, we're going to see here the problem of this team. And this is kind of why I was suggesting you earlier on to maybe try to have like a different kind of water type in the lead, because maybe you don't see Digger Speed that often when you're up in the leaderboards. That's the thing as well. Rank 1 teams sometimes are really, really good, like literally really good anywhere. I had some rank 1 teams that I loved. I had some, like, for example, the team that got me to Legend this season was a rank 1 team. Like, this was a team that really worked out well, which I didn't expect that it would work well, because there is a double weakness on the team that I used there. But it was such an amazing team to run. For this team, A, you need like really good IVs again. But also B, I don't think it is the greatest team to run in the meta where you don't know what you're doing. I do think that this team is, the idea behind the team and the backline of the team here has a lot of potential. I think it's really great to have a Goodra as a say-swap. I like Goodra a lot in this team. But I feel like it would be better to have a different kind of water type Pokemon in order to counter the Digger Speed, which is so common for me. That also kind of would work out a little bit better for Goodra, because Goodra has that water type coverage. So if you have a water type Pokemon in the lead, like a Feraligatr, and you swap out into your Goodra, you're a lot of times just gonna end up in a so much better scenario. But yeah, it is what it is. We can move on to the next opponent. We see the Azumarill coming in, and here we're gonna see the benefit of having the Thunder Punch being buffed. Look at this. Look at this. Doing so much more damage now. Like, literally, it's only 5 damage, but it's going to help you to put them into a range where you can just fully farm them down afterwards, which wasn't the case before. And so Goodra with the Thunder Punch buff actually is so much better than before, in my opinion. I think it's such a good Pokemon to run. I do think it's a really, really good Pokemon here. And as we're going to see, we are going to still be forced to use a shield here. There might be a breakpoint that he could get with like Dragon Breath, or even with getting more Thunder Punch damage in there to knock them out there before using the shield. But here we're going to have a Dedenne in the back. But the cool thing here is at least Poison Jab is going to be super effective against them. They go for the Parabolic Charge and get the defense buff immediately, but we can still go for another move. And we also mainly get the opponent insanely low, which is exactly what I kind of want to do. They don't have a triple bunny team here, which is kind of sad. They have a very weird team, generally speaking, I have to say. Like, you have the Azumarill, you have the Dedenne, and you have the Starmie. Very, very weird. But they don't also really care too much about it, because look at this. It is beautiful. Look at the damage output of Corsola here. This Pokemon is just so strong. Like, Corsola and Marowak are kind of the Pokemon that kind of make me want to get Astonish and Mud Slap nerfed by damage. I feel like -1 damage is totally fair, and that would still make them very, very strong. Just those Pokemon are too overpowered sometimes. Low kicks. You know what's great? I really made a video early on about low kicks, which you can definitely check out if you want to. This Pokemon is really cool. Low kicks has the interesting ability currently to break basically the entire meta, because you have Pokemon like Feraligatr, which does resist damage to you while you do neutral damage, and you can farm down, I think, in the 2-shield scenario with this Pokemon. You have Pokemon like Diggersby being weak to the grass type move of Trailblaze here, and then you're going to have Pokemon like the Galarian Corsola, which we have here as well, which literally doesn't have play against Pokemon at all. And so, I guess you have Power Gem, like that's the issue with the bug type moves, like basically any kind of charge move is super effective against bug types. But generally speaking, it's a really good Pokemon right now. Low kicks, I made a video about earlier, was a lot of fun to run. For sure, something I would recommend you to give it a try. But yeah, as you guys see here, the opponent is going to be able to go for, yeah, no shield because I don't have shields there. For a surprise, they will have to go, I think, for the Sludge Wave though in order to knock us out. And they do exactly this, but this is going to give me the opportunity to farm up extra energy on my Corsola. Getting up to nearly 1 charge move here is going to allow us to get completely hard roll. This is what I mean. You need a different water type Pokemon in the lead. Water type Pokemon are cool. I feel like Blastoise even makes some sense here right now. Blastoise is a cool Pokemon. I think it's kind of even an underrated Pokemon, but could also get a little bit of a buff, to be fair. But yeah, honestly, I feel like Blastoise has some play in the current meta. Like, you're gonna be able to dish out 1-turn fast move damage, but you're also gonna do so much damage against all of those ground type Pokemon that I feel like Blastoise actually has some play. I think there's even Shadow Blastoise available, but I think the normal one is usually the better Pokemon to use. But just thinking about like water type Pokemon that do water type fast move pressure, I feel like Blastoise is currently one of the best one for them. And honestly, if I look at the stats for this Pokemon, it beats Mandibuzz, it beats Diggersby, it beats Corviknight, Clodsire, Dunsparce, Normal Stunfisk, Carpink, Sandslash, Malamar, Jumpluff even with Ice Beam, the Licky, Quagsire, and Marowak from the top meta, which is really, really good. So yeah, maybe maybe I'm gonna showcase like Blasters or something for tomorrow. That Pokemon looks like a very, very fun one for the current meta. But yeah, I'm always kind of on the lookout for some meta breakers. If you know some in the comment section there as well, it's always the option for you to give me suggestions. I read those comments. I know I'm not great at replying to all of the comments, but I do read them. And I do also read them every single time we have like something wrong on the right side. I'm very sorry about that. I had Shadow Ball on Feraligatr apparently as a fast move in the video earlier today. But yeah, feel free to please send me some suggestions for teams, for general ideas for videos down below. Would really appreciate it. Here we're gonna see the Marowak play, which is actually very smart from the opponent, saving that one. It doesn't help them because Sludge is going to allow us to get the knockout here nearly against the opponent's Wigglytuff. They still survive. We can swap out Orchid it is. So for this team, I feel like you want to change if you want to play it right now. The lead matchup, go for the normal water type that's not weak to ground. Goodra is amazing. The backline is very, very strong, especially if you have the right IBs. And this is going to be it here now. Thanks so much for watching. See you then. Bye bye.